dark tan, which is what I've been using the past year and a half, ever since I started tanning. And I honestly have never tried another fake tanner because this one works perfectly fine.
It does have a very wet feel to begin with, so you can really see if there's a dry patch of your body that you haven't applied product to. So with that in mind, I wouldn't get dressed after applying this for like a good 15 minutes. That's me being overly cautious. Obviously I live on my own, so I don't really have as much of an issue as like some people if they live with lots of other people and they don't want to walk around naked. But I would generally shut myself in the bathroom or my bedroom for a good 15 minutes to let this all sink in and to dry. You could get dressed fairly quickly after, but I do feel like you run the risk of rubbing some of the product off. I honestly think the more time you spend not clothed in general after tanning, the better your tan is going to be and the less anything's going to rub off. Like I always find I put a bra on fairly quickly after tanning. You can't let these girls run free, and because of that I do always have like a patch around my boobs and a patch underneath right at the top of my stomach from where a bra has been, because it does rub off, and because I put a bra on so quickly after. The same goes for my underwear, but there's a lot less to my underwear. It's not particularly tight, and that is another thing. I will always kind of err on the side of caution and wear something that's just not super tight. So like cycle shorts and leggings on my bottom half and like sports bras on my top half, I generally try to steer away from, which is quite easy if you're not having like a exercise kind of gym day and you apply this, you're generally gonna be okay. So to finish off, I'm going to take my mitt. I haven't applied any product to this, and what I do is I just brush the mitt over my hands like this. Literally like this. I try and be quite precise on the tips of my fingers because I do find this can just give my nails a little bit of a yellowing if I get too much of it on them. So I do have like a product which is like good for discoloration on your nails. So if the worst did happen, I would just use that. But I just like to make my life a little bit easier for myself by just being quite careful. And you can go like either side of your finger, which is something I used to be really meticulous about, but this tan, I don't know what it is about this tan, but it works on hands so beautifully, so beautifully. So I don't really find that it takes to my hands too badly. Maybe it's the fact that the gel is very hydrating. My hands just don't seem to go the same color as they would with a mousse. Like I honestly, even if you loved mousses, I would recommend getting something like this just for your hands because it is incredible. And when it comes to doing the edges of my hands, lots of people comment on the fact that I just never have like patches around here or here, and it's because I actually don't really go onto that part of my hand. Like I see people properly buffing the side of their hands, and I literally just give it a light swipe, and again on this side a light swipe, and here a light swipe, and that is it. I do this last so that my hands don't have to be in the mitt whilst I am tanning the rest of my body, because then that's going to be sitting on the inside of your mitt and you've got more chance of having it then when you switch hands on the palm of your hand, and you've got more chance of like having tan on the underside, which is like one of the real like giveaways that you obviously fake tan. And there's nothing wrong with people knowing that you fake tan, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it just doesn't look, you know, like super natural. Whereas if you get this right, your tan just looks so natural. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really worry about doing this bit of my hand, because actually I've spent quite a lot of my life being naturally tanned anyway. I have that oily skin that just no matter how much sun cream I put on, my skin will react to the sun. But the palms of my hands, no matter how tanned I've been, have never been tanned. So it's not something that I worry about there being like a real distinct difference, because it's honestly, it's just something that I am used to seeing on myself. I guess that's my aim with my fake tan as well, is just to make sure I look like my most naturally tanned version of myself. And then what I do with my hands is I just make sure I don't get them wet or wash them or touch any like cleaning product or anything like that, any moisture, no moisture for 30 minutes. And then after that, if I need to like go to the toilet and then wash my hands or clean something or anything, after that first half an hour, the product seems to have done its work. So it does take much quicker to your hands. Don't worry about having the product on your hands for the same length of time you would the rest of your body. After washing my hands, what I will do is again just pick up the mitt. What's wrong with me? I'll pick up the mitt and I just brush over literally the, I want to say the entryway to my hand, but like this part of my wrist, I just swipe over it just to avoid any like watermarks here. I'm generally very careful when I wash my hands anyway, but you know, shit happens. So yeah, I always just go over. If I get splashed, like sometimes I'll be like at my sink and there might be a bit that like goes onto like my shoulder, I always just come back into my bathroom and give it a quick buff, and it generally seems to stop any patches. The quicker you move and react to that situation, the better chance you have of saving it. And if anything does go horribly wrong, I just kind of exfoliate the area lightly and then apply a little bit more the next day, which is what I had to do with my chest. I don't think you can see, but last week I definitely had like a situation on my chest because I was silly and I worked out after applying my tan. So once that is all on, like I said, wait a little bit, get into clothing, go about my day as normal. We've talked through the hand situation, and what you will notice with this product, it has like a really nice scent to it. It doesn't smell fake tanny at all, but you will start to notice like a faint smell, I would say around, I want to say 3 hours in, and I feel like from then on that's when you can start to see the process kind of coming through. But around like 6 to 8 hours later is when I start seeing some real glow coming through, and then like 8 to 9 hours you're looking at some real nice glow. Anytime from then on, like if I leave this on for quite a long time, I'm like glowing. So most days I will obviously shower in the evening, so it will generally get washed off then. Sometimes it's the next morning if I'm feeling particularly lazy, but this doesn't come off on my bed sheets at all. It is just great. So yeah, although it says natural looking glow in the first 3 hours on the bottle, I would say save your like decision on whether you like this product, and any tan, this goes for any tan, save your decision for a good like at least 8 hours if it's a mousse. When I'm trialing a mousse, I don't decide whether it did a good job until the next day, because sometimes some tans just take a little bit longer to develop. This one has a really nice like developing time. I think like it really starts to show after about 8 hours, whereas mousses, sometimes you kind of have to leave them to develop for 8 hours, and then you'll find after that 8 hours is when the color starts to come through. And honestly, that and the amount of product you use, I feel like really make the difference when you are tanning and trying out a new tan, deciding if you love a tan. Be generous with the amount you're using and give it like a solid amount of time to develop. Okay, so this is me, fully applied all of my products, took the bikini top off, did my thing. Literally takes like 5 minutes to go from feeling like super tacky to something that is a little bit more dry feeling. So I think in like another 5 minutes I'm gonna be ready to fully like put my clothes on. Obviously I've been using the Purity water over the summer, so it has been a lot easier to wear like loose flowy clothing. Over the more recent weeks it's been a little bit cooler, and I've been opting for like very loose trackies and like a nice loose top, or just like a bra if I'm like around the house. Going into winter, this is one of the reasons that I really like a mousse, because I could basically just spend like a set amount of time, like an hour to 3 hours max, just having to, you know, stand by my bathroom radiator and be like, okay, developing. But then I know I can wash it off after and be like really snug and cozy. So I probably would use this on my days off when I am just wearing like looser, comfy clothes, like my jersey jumpsuits like from ASOS. I always throw those on when I'm tanning, and I don't really have to like look presentable, rather than days where I'm like either changing a lot or wearing something that's like quite smart, or wearing something that's quite heavy and I don't want to like sweat in, or just wearing something that's very, very tight. So I probably use it more on days off, like I said, but I do think it's still so worth my time even throughout the winter, because the tan this gives is just so lovely and so natural. If you like a really, really dark tan, there are definitely mousses that will give you like a really, really deep tan. But if you're looking for something that is like on the more natural side and that just really makes you glow, I live for this. It really works to warm up your skin tone as well, so even if you're very fair or very dark, I think this would still work so wonderfully, because even just a small amount of this for a small amount of time will help knock out like ashy tones in your skin, you know, when you're in like the depths of winter and things are just not looking cute. Like my skin, I don't know about everyone else, my skin goes grey. In the winter, it goes grey. So this will help to really like warm you up and give you a lovely glow, and the longer you leave it on for, obviously the darker it gets. It just doesn't get as dark as some mousses. So depending on what your preferences are, this, I think this will be a winner for most, if I'm honest. It also comes in a face spray, which I love. I don't have it with me right now, which is kind of annoying. It's at Ryan's house. Living between two places is kind of getting the better of me right now. I am very excited to try this when I next get ready. This is the Saint-Tropez Self Tan Purity Vitamins. It's a vitamin like C and D serum. So I'll probably use that in the morning on my skin, and hopefully it will give me like a nice glow throughout the day. I took this out my cupboard earlier when I was looking for all of my bottles. a fake tan. This morning I actually used the Ossia Adaptive Tan Mist. I really like this. I've been using this for a really long time, so you might have seen it on my channel before. This gives a really lovely glow to my skin. It doesn't go super dark though, but it's a really lovely light mist, and I really enjoy it because it feels like it's doing my skin some good, as well as adding a nice little bit of like warmth and bronze to it, and it doesn't break me out, which is sadly something that I found that my Dior tan spray mist was doing to my face, and I'm so heartbroken about it. The Purity Mist also in the face spray doesn't break me out as well, so they are a great duo together. So hopefully I'll get on with this as well. I'll use this in the morning tomorrow before I come back and do my after, so hopefully I'll be able to pop here what it looks like on my skin. So those are all the products I've been using. Hopefully this wasn't too boring for you, because I feel like I've just done a whole video on like a very small amount of products. So I'll be back with you in the morning to check in and show you my tan. I'm going to show you it in this light in here, but I'm also shooting a before and after, like full body in a very well lit room in my house, so you can kind of see in the different lights what this tan is looking like. But yeah, I'm going to be back with you tomorrow because I've talked forever. I feel like my face is starting to twitch. Hello everybody, just jumping into my kind of final check-in with you. I think there might be one more check-in, which I'll tell you about why in a second. So it's been exactly 24 hours since I last saw you. I wanted to film this in like the same kind of light that I was filming in yesterday, so that you can really kind of see how different my tan is and kind of judge for yourself whether it is a tanning routine for you. My hands and wrists are looking good. This one I think might have been a bit more dry than this one. This one is like, I'm very happy with this. Like, it's perfect. There's not even like my hand is lighter or darker. It just looks so natural, and I'm so happy with it. So yeah, that is it for my hands. My top half has gone very dark, and that's mainly due to the fact that my top half, like this part of my body, is just darker anyway because of like sun exposure and stuff. So I am going to apply a second application to my torso, front and back, because my top of my back is more tan than like the bottom of my back, and like this area here. I think you'll be able to see that in the afters. So what I will do is one last check-in where I do my torso for a second round, my back, and then I also will probably do my bum as well, because my bum is, shockingly, like no one's going to be surprised, my bum is naturally a lot lighter than my legs, because obviously I don't get my bum out as much as I get my legs out. So yeah, what I would do is second application. If you're really panicky over having a completely like all over tan, that would be something that I definitely advise. It works a treat. I do it very, very regularly. Like if I know I'm gonna have like my tummy out, like say I'm wearing a dress where there's a cutout and my stomach is gonna be on show, or I know I'm gonna be in a bikini because it's gonna be really hot, or I'm just wearing a lot of crops, I will always make sure I do my stomach. My bum area is not so essential, but I like for my stomach to match my chest, and I like for my lower back to match my upper back, just in case I end up wearing anything that is backless or whatever, you know the deal. So past me is gonna cut straight ahead to a little clip here of future me with the full second application on stomach, back and bum, and hopefully that also gives you an idea of how well this can build up if that is something that you are looking for in a tan. But yeah, that is it. So easy. My skin looks so glowy once I've used it. I just always think it looks so healthy and hydrated, and that must be the tan, because I'm not the best with like applying body lotion. I have not applied body lotion I think in about a week, so I'm putting it down to the tan. I always look so glowy and my skin looks so plump and healthy after I use it as well, which is amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now about my tan and I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little insight into how I tan, my routine, and what I'm currently using, and all of the little before and afters. I hope you're all having a really great day, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.